Thousands of men die each year in Russia, but not because of going to war. The reality is even more grim. Relentless cold, uncontrolled alcoholism, and harsh living conditions claim many lives before the age of 50. But this is not all. In a country where political persecution is a daily occurrence, where government critics mysteriously disappear or fall out of the window, and where silence is the only protection, life can be as cold as Siberian winter. In this documentary, we will delve into Russia, the part that few want you to know about, from its vast territory to the darkest corners of its political and social system. What you're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about this nation. Number 1, location and extent. Russia covers 17.1 million square kilometers, making it the largest country in the world, covering more than 1/8 of the Earth's habitable surface. It stretches from Eastern Europe to northeastern Asia, sharing borders with 16 countries, more than any other nation. Its enormous size means that Russia encompasses a wide diversity of landscapes, from the European plains to the harsh climates of Siberia. Russia has 11 time zones, which means that when it is 8 a.m. in Moscow, it is already 6 p.m. in the Kamchatka Peninsula. This phenomenon causes the sun to rise at different times across the country. In some regions, such as the Far East, sunrise and sunset can occur at times that seem surreal compared to the rest of the world. Number 2, climate and geography. Russia's climate varies drastically due to its enormous size. In Siberia, winters can be brutal, with temperatures dropping as low as -50 degrees Celsius in places like Oymyakon, the coldest inhabited place in the world. In contrast, the southern region can experience temperatures of up to 40 degrees Celsius in summer. Russia is also home to vast tundras and dense boreal forests, which represent one of the largest oxygen reserves on the planet. These forests, known as the taiga, cover most of Siberia and are inhabited by unique species such as the Siberian tiger, the brown bear, and the moose. The Volga, the longest river in Europe, is a fundamental element in Russian economy and history. It has been crucial for trade and the development of the region, with cities like Kazan and Volgograd along its banks. On the other hand, the Lena, one of the longest rivers in the world, flows through eastern Siberia and is vital for the lives of many indigenous communities, providing essential resources and transportation routes in one of the most inhospitable regions on the planet. Number 3, history. Russia has been the scene of invasions and conflicts throughout its history. It was invaded by Mongols, Napoleonic forces, and Germans, but managed to overcome them. During World War II, known in Russia as the Great Patriotic War, the country suffered more than 26 million deaths. The Battle of Stalingrad marked a turning point, and in 1945, Soviet troops took Berlin, sealing the victory over Nazi Germany. The Soviet Union, from its founding in 1922 until its dissolution in 1991, became an industrial and military superpower. Its leadership in the space race included the launch of Sputnik and the first human in space, Yuri Gagarin. However, political repression and economic crises led to the collapse of the regime in 1991. Today, Russia presents itself to the world as a geopolitical power with great influence in the economy, energy, and global conflicts. Its imposing monuments, scientific advancements, and firmness on the international stage portray it as a powerful and resilient nation. But is it really like that? Behind the propaganda and the image of strength, there are shadows that few dare to look at. Throughout this documentary, we will uncover the secrets hidden beneath the surface, revealing what is truly behind the image that Russia projects to the outside world. However, what makes Russia unique is not only its political power or its turbulent history, but also its culture. Literature, ballet, and art have been fundamental pillars of Russian identity, influencing the world with their depth and majesty. Russia has given the world great writers, such as Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, and Chekhov. Russian ballet is considered the best in the world. On, the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow, and the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg are the main stages for this art form, where works like Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake and The Nutcracker continue to captivate audiences. But behind this cultural and artistic shine, the reality for many people in Russia is very different. While the world admires its literature and ballet, inside the country repression, censorship, and persecution are a constant. Next, we will explore Russia's darker side, the lack of freedom of expression, and the price paid by those who dare to challenge the system. Number 4. Lack of freedom of expression and political persecution. Freedom of expression in Russia is extremely limited. Independent media are censored, journalists are persecuted, and political opponents are arrested or exiled. The FSB, Federal Security Service, successor to the KGB, is the main intelligence agency in Russia. Its official mission is to ensure the security of the state, but in practice, it is a key tool for the government to control the population and silence opposition. People in Russia cannot express themselves freely without the risk of reprisals. Independent media are censored, and those who criticize the government may face arrests, persecution, or even forced disappearances. A clear example of this is the case of journalist Anna Politkovskaya, who was investigating war crimes in Chechnya and reporting on human rights violations. She was found dead in the elevator of her building in Moscow in 2006 after being shot. It is suspected that her tragic fate was linked to her critical journalism work with the government. In Russia, political persecution is not an isolated incident, but a recurring practice. Critics of the government, activists, and journalists face constant threats. It is common for figures who are inconvenient for the Kremlin to become victims of strange accidents, such as falls from windows or suspicious poisonings, and many times these cases remain unresolved. Other cases of persecution include Alexei Navalny, the opposition leader who exposed corruption networks within the Kremlin. Navalny was poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok in 2020, survived after receiving treatment in Germany, but was arrested upon his return to Russia in 2021. In prison, he faced extremely harsh conditions, and in 2024, his death was officially reported, sparking protests and accusations of state responsibility for his disappearance. Number 5. Censorship and social media. If there is no freedom of expression in Russia, there is even less in the digital realm. The Russian government has implemented strict laws to restrict the use of social media and control online information. Roskomnadzor is the state agency responsible for monitoring internet content and blocking websites that disseminate information considered dangerous to the government. Any message that contradicts the official narrative can be removed immediately, and its authors may face reprisals. But censorship is not limited to the digital world. On state television, only what the government allows is broadcast, ensuring that their version of reality is the only one. If a news story against the Kremlin manages to come to light, it simply disappears from the media, and those who spread it often face severe consequences. Number 6. Persecution of the LGBT community. The gay propaganda law, approved in 2013, prohibits the promotion of non-traditional relationships, which has led to discrimination and violence against the LGBT community in Russia. Many activists have been arrested, and some have been forced to flee the country. Number 7. Domestic violence and gender inequality. In Russia, the female population exceeds the male population, but it is of little use if many of them face a harsh reality marked by domestic violence. In 2017, the Russian government approved a law that decriminalizes domestic violence if it does not leave visible marks, thereby reducing penalties for aggressors and making it more difficult for victims to seek protection. A survey conducted with 10,000 women revealed that 70% of them have experienced some form of violence, whether physical or psychological, in their homes. Despite the magnitude of the problem, the police tend to downplay these cases, considering domestic violence as a family matter in which they should not intervene. Additionally, shelters for victims of violence are scarce, and many women are forced to continue living with their abusers due to a lack of institutional support. Number 8. Addictions and alcoholism. Russia has one of the highest alcohol consumption rates in the world. Until 2011, beer was not considered an alcoholic beverage, which made its uncontrolled consumption and availability in any store, even vending machines, easier. During Mikhail Gorbachev's government, in an attempt to reduce alcoholism, restrictions were implemented on the sale of alcoholic beverages, which resulted in a black market and social discontent. Due to the shortage of alcohol, many people turned to consuming alternative substances such as perfumes, colognes, and cleaning products containing alcohol, which led to numerous cases of poisoning and mass intoxication. Despite these attempts, alcohol addiction has remained a serious problem, with a high rate of deaths related to diseases associated with its consumption. Regarding tobacco, Russia is one of the largest consumers in the world, with approximately 60% of men starting to smoke at an early age. As a result, most of them die before the age of 50 due to smoking-related diseases. Globally, Russia ranks 4th in tobacco consumption, which has led to a serious public health problem. And if you were surprised by this video, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating content about the world. See you in the next video.